What's good, my people? It's your boy 336 Money, and you are now tuned in to the 336 podcast, man. I'm here today to tell you that I am ahead, not up to date. Yes, that means I am from the future. Your today is just my yesterday. Spoiler alert, ain't shit changed. What's good, my people? Once again, you are now tuned in to the 336 podcast, which is currently airing on Sundays. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch some of our other segments and interviews. How y'all doing, man? Hopefully y'all had a great week. We got some pretty interesting things to talk about, man, and I'm very excited to get into it, so let's get into it. Will Smith, he was banned from the Academy for the next 10 years. So in a sense, like, he can still do movies and things of that nature, but as far as his eligibility, you know, what people work for outside of the money, the accolades, the recognition, the trophies, you know, the hardware, he'll be prevented from that. And it's pretty tough because I feel like at his age and where he's at, he'll actually probably end his career. Like, this is probably it for Will Smith, unless he can pull off like a Morgan Freeman thing, like just way later down the line and stuff. You know, he's very talented. So there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to find a niche and carve that out in the future. But, you know, that kind of sucks. But, yeah, as far as I know, I think it's just, you know, related to the Academy and the awards and all that. And who knows other benefits that they may get. But I really think it's just based off award submission, automatic consideration. As I stated before, you know, you still can be a part of the award ceremony, but it has to be like an invite thing. And when you ban someone for 10 years, I don't think you are going to allow invite. I think you're pretty much trying to send a strong message of disconnection. And I think that's what's going on, man. So hate it for Will, but he has already had a great career and he will be remembered. You know, he's been in some great movies. So he'll be always remembered as one of the best actors ever. And them doing that won't change that. Tennessee Republicans introduced a bill that would eliminate age requirements for marriage. So they said, so it was initially reported. And this isn't true. Well, at the time it was, right? And let's just go into it deeper. The narrative is trying to be changed down in Tennessee because Tennessee is really strongly pushing for these anti-LGBTQ barbecue, whatever. They're trying to push against the LGBTQ community. And this is what this is really about. It was a bill that was definitely introduced, and that initially did not include an age limit, but since then has been amended due to the backlash. Now, there are two things I'm noticing this week with news. News is super fake, you know? And I feel like I'm becoming a part of that because I am reporting news. So I don't want to. So let's just go devil's advocacy here on both ways. So they try to go out and push this thing, Democrats, that, oh, Republicans are trying to legalize, you know, child molestation and statutory rape. Whereas the Democrats are like, no, we've changed the bill. We've amended it. We've added in the age restriction, which was 17 with parental consent beforehand and is now 18 years old in the bill. But it is strictly for heterosexual marriage contracts. But they say that they're trying to attack the LGBTQ communities and not allow them to be able to get married, not allow them the same benefits that, you know, regular heterosexuals get. You know, these Democrats, they try to push it like it's something else because, of course, the Democrats would love for the LGBTQ community agenda to be pushed world nationwide. There are a lot of people who are like that. Obviously, I think you guys have heard about Disney, and they actually mentioned in this leaked call that 50% of their characters should be minority and gay. I guess that's the word that was used. So, yeah, people are trying to push this agenda, and a lot of people are not liking it because Disney's becoming very forward. And we're not going to talk about Disney too much today, but Disney is becoming very forward, and what they are showing are innocent little children, and a lot of parents do not know how to feel about it. and they're feeling strongly to discontinue Disney. So it is time for a very talented group of young minorities to create the new Disney elsewhere and protect our children's innocence and still give our children that imagination and inspiration that the original Disney used to give us all. But this is an agenda, man. They're pushing hard for the LGBTQ agenda, and the gay agenda is being pushed across our nation, and it's being manipulated to where if the people who are fighting against it are trying to allow some type of legal statutory rape. In this particular instance, we can't, I don't know what to say. Maybe the Republicans were trying to, sneak a bill in there that would make it legal. Maybe they was being sneaky, dirty, and nasty, because I know y'all dirty and y'all nasty. They changed it. So we have to give some credit there. They amended the bill. We have to give credit there. However, it's still on the basis of heterosexual marriage contracts. Tennessee Republicans are not trying to allow any age limit to be married. They're not trying to remove age requirements for marriage. They are trying to prevent the LGBTQ community from having those marriage contract eligibilities. Along with that, there are transgender residents in Palm Springs, California, that may be able to receive a UBI of up to $900 a month for identifying as transgender or non-binary. Yep, $900 Stimmy coming every month just because we identify as transgender or non-binary. No strings attached. Now, let's talk about it. They try and claim that this is not the case. No, we're just not going to be giving out money. But however, this was unanimously voted upon. This bill that introduces what they say funding was just $200,000. But, of course, you got private funding and all of these things going on. And, people will support the gays, and the gay community will support each other. They are very good at coming together. But this is a thing that was unanimously voted upon. And, they try to say, no, this is not what's happening. But obviously, this is the intent of the bill. This is the vision coming to life that you guys all wanted. All trans people getting $900 stimmies, and they say for up to 2 years. But yeah, that's crazy, right? We can't, we have people fighting for this type of compensation for putting the black community through slavery. We've never had legislation introduced like this and not even unanimously voted upon. But however, in Palm Springs, California, they are able to come together for the LGBT, transgender, and non-binary community. And I don't find it ironic because the mayor is actually transgender, guys. Congratulations, you figured it out. They have a transgender mayor, and what it is, Lisa Middleton, as they go by, they state that the trans community suffers extreme underemployment and unemployment. Doesn't that sound like another group of individuals? I think it does, man. I think another group of individuals have suffered that and way more. I'm not going to say what group of individuals that may be, but maybe you guys can comment, man. And, I'll let the people decide because I don't have the answers, but together we can get them. This just kind of brings it back to the importance of voting. Who you vote in matters. And I'm not at all saying that, I have an issue with that community or that I'm against it, but it's just, for me, it's about the hierarchy of things, I feel like there are other people that should be prioritized on that list ahead of transgender and non-binary people. You talk about underemployed and unemployed people, and you're in California and you're not talking about the homelessness. It doesn't make any sense to me. If we want to talk about underemployed and underserved communities and achievers and under offered, all of those things, just less than the standard, we have to talk about the homeless epidemic going on in California. And I feel like if we were giving anybody some money every month, it should be them. But there are other groups ahead as well before I think we got to try to tackle the problem with the transgender and non-binary community. I don't really know if that's a real thing. We can talk about the stats. If anyone has them, I'll be more than welcome to check that out and see how they compare against other minority groups in America, because that's crazy. We can't really be too upset. You know, they got voted in, they're transgender, so of course they're going to fight. So all minority communities, we vote in minority leaders, and all we can do is hope that they will do the same. Texas, man. Let's talk about Texas, man. I love Texas. I'm not going to lie. Houston, went there for my birthday last year. It's an amazing experience. Cannot wait to go back and see more of Texas. Definitely will probably move there. If not, have a residency there pretty soon. But they'll be putting migrants that have been apprehended on the border on charter buses and sending them on this great 1,800-mile road trip, 26-hour road trip, right down to the Capitol over there in D.C. to hang out with old President Biden, man, and Kamala Harris. That is going to be a party, man. The White House, you know, we all go there as kids, and some of us don't, but, you know, it's like a field trip thing. But, yeah, Texas is giving the immigrants coming over the border a free field trip straight to the Capitol to see where our democracy stands, where it begins and where it ends, man. The Biden administration is trying to end the Trump-era policy of what's called Title 42. Title 42, it prevents, it allows us to prevent people from entering our country, people and products, it's not just people, for entering our country due to disease control. You know, if we're trying to control disease. But you might think that, okay, well, that makes sense for coronavirus. But actually, this was introduced back in 1944. It's not as recent as you think. Everybody calls it the Trump bill, the Trump policy. Trump, I don't think he was involved in politics in 1944. So, yeah, this bill's introduced in 1944, and it is something that Trump just reenacted during his tenancy as president of the United States. And, I mean, honestly, they, you know, are just trying to control who and what can come in our country. Now, Mr. Greg Abbott, who's the governor of Texas, he says we're sending him to the United States Capitol where Biden can be able to more immediately address the people that he's allowing to come into our border. Big petty king, petty master. Okay, I'm against you allowing people to come in our country. However, you're so for it. So guess what? I'm going to send them straight to your door, because, you know, it's like Texas is there and they're governed by Mr. Abbott, and he has to deal with that whether he likes it or not. So now he's dealing with it in a way that says, okay, you want to play? Well, two can play that game. I'm going to send them right to the Capitol. I'm going to let you and the White House handle this, since this is your doing. This is your prerogative. This is your preference. Now you have to deal with these immigrants that you're allowing to come in our country, since you're going to stop giving me control over that. And, it's big petty, but hey, let's see how this happens. There have been reports that, you know, Biden is already moving to accommodate them as far as giving them some free housing, some cell phones. I don't know, but I'm gonna be mad if they get to 12 and the 13. If they get to 13, and then they get the Galaxy Ultra, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, man. Come on, bruh. But nah, they're going to be getting some equipment to kind of help out, get their start over here, which I feel like is kind of dangerous too. I feel like it's going to be an easy way to monitor them. It's going to be a super duper invasion of privacy, but whatever. We'll see how this all plays out. But yeah, Texas governor is going to put them on a bus, send them on that ride. And I don't know. The Department of Homeland Security says more than 1 million individuals have been stopped from entering our country due to Title 42. And I feel like, what will we do with that extra million up in here? But yeah, this is all we have time for today, guys. I'm not sure about this news anymore, because I'm seeing a lot of mixed reporting, propaganda, but people are on both sides. So don't believe anything that you hear. Only believe the things that you see. I'm just here to let you know what's going on in the world, and hopefully that can help you do better and be better, man. It's your boy 336 with the 336 podcast. Y'all stay safe, and most of all, stay sucker free out there, man. Zoom.